making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, gotta get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5, to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Cardiac Cowboys make their first appearance of the 2022 season here in Week 2 as a 50-yard Brett Maher game-winning field goal gives them their first win of the new campaign, 20-17 over the reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night, everybody, from the Star in Frisco alongside Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. Let's get into this, Nate, because the offense did what they needed to do behind Cooper Rush. The backup quarterback comes in, and he has a fantastic start, keeps the football in the hands of the Cowboys, puts up 17 points in the first half, and it was enough to get the win.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely enough to get the win. He spread it around to Pollard, to Zeke. He found his partner, Noah Brown, his running partner, and CeeDee Lamb kind of found his legs. So he spreaded the ball around, but more importantly, he did not throw an interception in this game.
No, he did not, and he is now 2-0 as a starter. The Cowboys looking to avoid an 0-2 start. 7 teams last year started 0-2, and none of them made the playoffs. Both them and Cincinnati had a chance to go 0-2 today as we take a look at some of the highlights, and it just didn't necessarily get off to the start that Cincinnati had in mind against Cooper Rush and the Cowboys, because Dallas started with the football, faced with an early 4th down, completion over the middle to Noah Brown for 17 yards, kept the drive alive. Then a couple plays later, 12th of the drive, Cooper Rush rolling out to his right, finds Noah Brown again in the back of the end zone for 6. First Cowboys touchdown of the season and Noah Brown's first of his career.
A nice naked boot, man, and they drug it across. He rolled out there, broke contain, found him in the back of the end zone. Nice pass.
We talked about the offense, a little about the defense on the other side of things, as well as since he got the ball for the first time, Micah Parsons ups his season sack count to 3. He had 2 last week in Week 1. He comes after Joe Burrow here with his first sack of the night, 3rd of the season. Following a defensive stop and a Cincy field goal, Dallas finds Tony Pollard on the left sideline. He goes all the way down to 47 yards, but he needed 48. He was 1 yard shy, but the Cowboys punch it in just 1 play later. Let's go into the second quarter. After a strip sack was recovered by Cincy after Dante Fowler Jr. got in there, Dorrance Armstrong gets in there with Fowler Jr. again. This defense got after Cincinnati, 4 sacks in the first half, Nate.
Right there, you can see Dorrance Armstrong getting a part of it, man. He powered him, spent out, and he was relentless, and he got him in the end.
Dallas gets the football back prior to the start of the second half, and Brett Maher kicks this one from 54 yards out right down the middle to make it a 17-3 Cowboys lead heading into the break. Opening Cincy drive of the third quarter, Micah Parsons ups that sound count one more time, his 4th of the year, as Cincy has to settle for a field goal and another field goal, but they close the gap to just 1 score. Dallas driving into field goal range, but Dalton Schultz coughs up the football. This was a turning point that allowed Cincy to stay in it.
Oh, yeah, he just did try to do a little bit too much, man. It's a dozen guys around. You go down, my friend.
So Dalton Schultz puts it on the ground. It's recovered by the Cincinnati defense. Since he had the ball for a huge chunk of the fourth quarter, including this 4th down completion to Jamar Chase over the middle. Trayvon Diggs with good coverage, not enough to get the defense off the field. Continuing on that drive, a few plays later, Cincinnati finally finds the end zone. Joe Burrow directing traffic to T. Higgins in the corner. They had the 2-point conversion. They converted on it in order to tie the football game up at 17. Dallas goes 3 and out. Since he gets the football back, Dallas defensively needs a big play. It's Diggs with some redemption, comes up on 3rd down, makes the stop, and Dallas gets the football back in time for Cooper Rush to lead a game-winning drive. This completion to CeeDee Lamb gets him into field goal territory for the iron leg of Brett Maher from the left hash mark from 50 yards out, and he fits it inside the right goalpost for the Cowboys win 20-17 to even up at 500. Coach McCarthy can't believe it. Cooper Rush 2-0 2-0 as a starter, and the Cowboys have their first win of the 2022 campaign. We'll hear from Cooper Rush when we come back with more Cowboys game night, because we're just getting started with the Cowboys' first win of the 2022 campaign.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
He's going to start earning the moniker Clutch Cooper Rush if he keeps this up, because throughout his 2 NFL starts, he's got 2 wins and 2 game-winning drives. Here's what the winning quarterback had to say following a Cowboys 20-17 win over Cincinnati.
Cooper, Nate Newton, Dallas Morning News. Second NFL start, second time you've led the team to the winning points in the final drive. Just what that means to you and how it keeps this kind of team engaged. If we can just keep it close, we give.
Yeah, that was a big one for us. You know, you don't want to fall down 0-2. Needed that first win. Defense obviously kept us in tonight, and then Brett at the end doing his job, and 88 on that last drive and the protection, and then Noah Brown catching the tip ball. It's pretty incredible.
Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Speaking of Noah Brown, can you talk about the game that he had and the matchup of this magnitude?
Yeah, he's just he's a baller. We've been together since we were rookies. We're still around, and he just keeps getting better and better every year. And he earned that starting spot, and you guys got to see it tonight why. All he does is make tough catches. All he is in the right place at the right time. The 4th down early on, got in there perfectly, cut that one loose, and he was there. He's a heck of a player.
Cooper, Tim Kalishaw, Dallas Morning News. The first 4th down on that first drive, did you take a couple steps toward the sideline before you found out you were going for it? And what does that do for the team to have that kind of confidence? Yeah,
I was glad we went for it after missing the throw on 3rd down. We were in our own territory, right? 40, yeah. So it was aggressive, and Noah made it work. Protection was good, and that was big for us to get off on the right foot.
Noah, you mentioned the protection. I'm sorry.
We have one. Clarence Hill, Forward Star Telegram. Are you excited? You happy?
Yeah, definitely. Winning NFL games is a lot of fun.
Let's talk about just the feeling in that locker room, because you look subdued now, but just the confidence that they have in you and what you're showing them that you can hold the fort.
Yeah, you just want to do your job, trust your teammates. Tonight we were smart. We ran the ball, a couple long drives early on, got our defensive breather, and then those guys just hung on at the end. The second half, we went 3 and out a couple times, and those guys they deserve all the credit.
Isn't it interesting? They were trying to get Cooper Rush to give a little bit of emotion, but just steady hand all the way through. Even after a win like that, Clarence Hill, the Fort Worth Star Telegram, saying, "Aren't you happy?" He said, "You know what? We got the job done. Helps that I had a good team around me." How does your confidence change from week to week with what Cooper Rush did today?
It don't. If you hear people talk about this kid, the players, they always believe in him. They always say when he come into the huddle, he takes command. Off the field, he's kind of shy. He's kind of doing his own thing. But when he hits the huddle, he takes command, and that's what a backup quarterback's supposed to do, be able to look and mentally process everything. So when it becomes a physical thing, he transferred onto the field, and he did a great job of doing that tonight.
And he was able to throw it around to a couple different guys today, too. That was a huge key, right?
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, man, he got Noah Brown going, and all of a sudden we got CeeDee Lamb going, and I liked how he used Tony Pollard, that little outside toss and then across the middle one time. He did a super nice job of making sure he kept everybody actively involved in this game.
Got the weapons going, and that was huge for this Cowboys offense. It was huge to get Dorrance Armstrong going for the Dallas defense as well, compounding what Micah Parsons did. We hear from him when we come back on Cowboys Game Night. Dorrance Armstrong with his first multi-sack game of his career. The Dallas defense got to Joe Burrow 6 times, including 4 times in the first half. Here's what the edge rusher had to say following the win.
Dorrance, what was it like when you as a unit, you guys were after Joe Burrow all day long? What was it like putting that kind of pressure on that kind of quarterback?
That was our goal from the get-go. We knew he liked to hold the ball, and we knew we got some guys that can go get after him, and that was the goal to go do that.
2 sacks, how does that feel? To get
Man, I've never done that before. But thanks to the guys, the coaches, teammates, just help executing these things.
Dorrance, with everything the team's going on offense right now, the defense just seemed like this week it's on us when we were here over. I mean, do you feel like you guys show you can carry a team?
Yeah, no doubt. That's how we have our mindset anyway. Like, we want to lead our team and help us win, and let them do their thing. As long as we do our part, things will be great.
Do you feel like the pressure just kept coming for them? I mean, you guys can't put it on all game long. Do you feel that way on the field too?
Yeah, for sure. When you got somebody behind the ropes, you just want to keep them there, and that's what we did.
That first sack on Burrow, you really kind of gobbled him up on top of him, and that can't feel good. How does that feel to deliver a hit like that and kind of send a message early in the game?
It feels great. It was just setting the tone. Let him know that we're going to be here all game, so he got to do what he got to do.
You guys knew, obviously, the offense dealing with Cooper stepping in for Dak. What can you just say about the effort? I think 6, maybe more sacks. What you guys were able to do leading the charge, and then the offense was able to do enough in the end.
Give me that again?
Just, can you just talk about the effort collectively you guys made, giving the offense a chance to win it at the end, even when they had some slow stretches in the middle of that game?
I mean, this is a team sport. We can't do anything without them. We just fed off the energy from both sides of the ball. I can say that, and that was great to see from the entire team, even on the sidelines. Just being in tune with the game and being supportive to your teammates.
We talk about Mike.
So Dorrance Armstrong with a multi-sack game. Micah Parsons with a multi-sack game for the second straight week. And then you had Leighton Vander Esch, the Wolf Hunter, even made a bit of an appearance there. And then Dante Fowler Jr. with a strip sack. So the defense got after Joe Burrow. This is what we've been expecting from that side of the football. How did they impress you today?
Just, we know Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons. But when you see a guy like Dorrance Armstrong, who's in his 5th year, who had to earn the right to get to that starting defensive end job. Last week, they jumping around. They gave up a lot of runs outside. This week, he maintained and kept everything inside. He set the edge, and then on top of that, he got 2 sacks. This is a kid that's growing. This is a kid that plays like maybe 80 and 90% of the defensive snaps.
Yeah, he was fantastic today. Joe Burrow held to 199 through the air. Jamar Chase had just 5 receptions for 54 yards. But I think one of the more telling statistics was that this ground game never got going. They only had 89 yards on the ground. Joe Mixon held to 19 carries, 57 yards. That run defense showed a little bit of something today.
Because right now Joe Burrows is going through some things, so they rely on Nixon. They rely on P. Ryan to tote the team until this kid get healthy. But you know what? The Cowboys knew what they had to do because last week they gave up a lot of yards. So this week here, they concentrated on it. Dan Quinn gave you a lot of different looks, and our big hogs in the middle took care of the job. So, hey, great team defense.
It really was, because the front 7 got after it. The secondary made some plays. Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs on that big 3rd down stop. They needed him to step up in a couple big spots. But ultimately, the Cowboys defense made Cincy one-dimensional. And even that dimension wasn't very good. They were just shutting down Cincinnati. When we come back, though, we talk about the special teams. Kicking was a problem in the offseason, not so much in the Week 2 win over the Bengals.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
Welcome back to Cowboys Game Night. It took a 50-yarder from Brett Maher to secure a 20-17 win over Cincinnati. But when the kicking game was such a question in the preseason, Maher was the last name on the list. Well, he's put himself right back up there at the top, has not missed in the regular season, and he has hit some clutch field goals, including 2 from over 50 today. Here's what he had to say.
Look at it. So it's just a really fun group to be a part of. That whole last sequence was awesome, with Brian pinning him deep with the punt, defense getting a stop, getting a good punt return, and then getting in position and coming through. So that was a very fun moment to be a part of.
And I'm glad you mentioned Brian and Jay. Brian, can you speak to the importance of special teams? It looks like that punt really pinned it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we needed out of him. It was just a great sequence of team football that really pulled together well for us.
What are you thinking when they have a timeout and you're out there thinking, are they going to call it or not? Does that go through your mind at all?
No, I'm focused on making the kick. The whistle will stop me if it needs to.
It wasn't that long ago that a previous coaching staff decided that you weren't the kicker for this team anymore. To be back here and to win a team. But now you're back and you've won a game for this team. Is that rewarding? How does that feel?
Every opportunity is rewarding, to be honest with you. I'm happy to do my part with this group. the guys in the locker room are awesome. That this whole game was a ton of fun to be a part of. This whole locker room is a ton of fun to be a part of. So I'm embracing the ride and doing my part.
There was a huge cheer that came out of this locker room about 5 minutes after we all came in here. What's it mean to you to know that you kind of elicited that cheer? You kind of made that happen?
I guess I don't see it that way. There was 60 minutes of football that was, really good on both sides of the ball, and on special teams as well. So I feel like I did my part today and continue to do so moving forward.
When you're trying to kick a game winner, you're trying to just do it as like normal, right? I mean, it's like the same routine. Is your heart racing? I mean, what's going through your mind when you're standing on the field and it's all on the line like that?
Just controlling what I can, which is how my foot hits the ball. Try to stay simple-minded and controlling what my thoughts are.
Sorry if you didn't ask before, but when the ball was up and going through, what were your emotions at that point?
I felt really good off my foot. Started just a little bit farther right than I thought, but it felt good. The operation was awesome. Brian and Jake are awesome. I felt like I put a good swing on it.
When you go against another guy like Evan McPherson, do you kind of think about that at all, the other kicker that you're going up against?
No, not really. I don't think there's a lot of relevance in me doing my job with him on the other sideline, but I will say that he is a very, very impressive young kicker.
A guy that can appreciate taking advantage of an opportunity. How about your quarterback, Cooper Rush, getting a chance? And just how excited are you for him?
Oh, my gosh. I love Cooper. The opportunity that he had today and is going to have going forward is awesome. I'm so happy that we were able to get a win for him.
Right.
Maher's clutch kick ties a bow on a Cowboys win over the Cincinnati Bengals. And when we come back, we tie a bow on Cowboys game night and wrap things up and take a look ahead for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys game night was presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
It came down to the wire, but the Cowboys get the job done in Week 2 of the season, 20-17 over the Cincinnati Bengals as the Cowboys convert on a 50-yard Brett Maher field goal to win it. Their only score of the second half, but that's all they needed after a dominant first half over the reigning AFC champions. Some of the stat lines: Cowboys outgained Cincinnati 337-254, and ultimately they take advantage of Cincinnati at home and start the season at 1-1. Welcome back into the final segment of Cowboys game night from the Star in Frisco. Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. Nate, great, you got to win. It's 1 week, 1 win, much like how last week was 1 week and 1 loss. Yeah. How do you build on this if you're the Cowboys moving forward?
Just keep playing for one another, and that's what I think that Cooper Rush allows these dudes. He gets the ball to the right guy at the right time, and they play for one another. The tight end is doing what he needs to do. I mean, for him to get a little more active. But, everybody's blocking. What I mean when I'm talking about the tight end, he's blocking a little bit better. The defense, they've just been playing lights out. So that's all they got to do is be consistent and remember, execute, do your job.
How much do the Cowboys need to build on this game plan with Cooper Rush back at quarterback for the second straight week? It's the only time he's had repeat starts in his career. Is that going to be a disadvantage?
No. I mean, as time goes on, they will have a book on this kid, but he's cool under fire. He knows who to get the ball to. He lets his players, his stars or his skill position players do what they have to do. And if as long as he continue to do that and Michael Parsons leads this defense and bring along a few guys like he did this week, going on the road, things will be okay.
When the NFL schedule came out and you would have looked at these first 2 weeks, you would say Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, I'll take a win in those 2 weeks. The Cowboys get a win, but now you've got some different types of tests as the NFC East division is on the docket in Week 3 and in Week 4. We'll be right back here to break it all down for you on Cowboys game night. For Nate Newton and our entire Dallas Cowboys crew, I'm Kyle Youmans. The Cowboys win it 20-17 over Cincinnati in Week 2.